Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Greeno Field here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, as we get ready for semifinal number 2 at the 2019 13U National Atlantic Championships for Baseball Canada. My name is Michael Petter. Thank you so much for tuning in here on 360 Live, powered by Bell. And we have what should be a fantastic ball game for you here this evening. If the first semifinal was any indication of what we have in store, that was a thrilling game as the Yarmouth Gateways defeated the Summerside Chevys by a score of 7-4. And so that sets up this matchup, which is semifinal number 2. The host team, the Dartmouth Arrows, will take on the home team in this game, the Capital District Islanders. Islanders won Pool B with a 3-0 record, defeating Yarmouth 6-5 with a walk-off win back on Thursday early afternoon. That was followed up by a 12-2 victory over Conception Bay South and a 5-2 win over Fredericton to advance to these semifinals. For the Dartmouth Arrows, they finished second in Pool A, and that is why they are the visiting team in this game. They defeated Port City out of New Brunswick, the Pirates, by a score of 8-3. They followed that up with an 11-1 victory over St. John's, the Capitals, and then dropped an 8-6 decision to Summerside last night. They led 6-4 going into the top of the 7th inning, but the Summerside Chevys put up 4 runs in the top of the 7th to earn the win there. And that is how this matchup got set up. The Capital District Islanders are the home team, as mentioned, as by virtue of being the first place team in Pool A. And so that means the Arrows will be batting first. Let's take you through their batting order. Leading off, it will be the catcher, Colby DeKoff. Batting second, the first baseman, Mitch Doucette. Batting third, playing center field, Jacquardin Pelly. Batting fourth, the extra hitter, Cole Monk. Batting fifth, the starting pitcher for the Arrows, Jacob Burgess. Burgess also pitched the opener back on Thursday. Aiden Webb, the third baseman, will bat sixth. Batting seventh, Eli James, the right fielder. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Jake Wombolt. The ninth spot will be occupied by the second baseman, A.J. Rogers, and left fielder Liam Duquette will bat 10th. Taking a look at the PEI Team 1, the Capital District Islanders defense. Cameron Sanderson will man left field while Will White is in center. Caden Kelly out in right field. Taking a look at the infield from third to first, Jack Burke and Yasu Hojo are on the left side. Burke at third, Hojo at short. Braden Bruce at second base, Thomas McEachern at first. Behind the plate, it'll be Owen Murphy. And out on the mound getting the start for the Islanders in this one, it'll be Jack McKinnon. And that is how things square up here for this one. The Islanders in their gray
leading off for the Dartmouth Arrows this evening,
shirts with the black sleeves, the black script of the word Islanders across the front, the black number on the back. The Arrows in their red and white Nova Scotia jerseys with the Baseball Nova Scotia logo on the front. White numbers with blue outline and white names on the back as well in blue outline. Colby DeKoff takes the first pitch, foul, for the first pitch coming at 6:59 p.m., 1 whole minute early for those of you who care about such things. And I know there are a few out there who are sticklers for such details. And we can tell you that here at 7 o'clock it is about 14 or 15 degrees here in Dartmouth. A bit of cloud cover and a calm evening so far, but the winds, if previous nights here at this tournament are any indication, wind is expected to pick up as the evening goes on, and it will get quite chilly. According to the forecast, it's supposed to stay around 15, 16 degrees all through the overnight hours, but I'll believe that when I see it. Not saying that I don't think the Weather Network ever gets anything wrong. I'm just saying there's a grounder down to second, gathered up, throw across in time. Good hustle by DeKoff, but a nice play by Bruce to gather up the ball, throw it over to McEachern, and McEachern able to pick it up for the first out of inning number 1. That'll bring up Mitch Doucette. Doucette, the first baseman, stands in, ready to take his hacks. Winner of this game will face Yarmouth tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the gold medal. Loser of this game will take on Summerside for bronze. Doucette takes the first pitch just a little bit low, the count 1-0. So we'll either have an all Nova Scotia matchup for gold and an all PEI matchup for bronze, or we will have a rematch of pool games. If the Capital District Islanders win, they'll face Yarmouth for a second time in the gold medal game, while the Arrows will face the Chevys for a second time. So either way, it'll be an interesting matchup in both of those medal games tomorrow. Again, bronze coming at 10, the gold medal game coming at 1. 1-2 right now, the count on Doucette. Here comes that 1-2 pitch, just misses. And I think Murphy thought that was going to be called strike 3. He was ready to fire it down to third, but no such call forthcoming. And so McKinnon's going to have to continue to work to Doucette here now. A 2-2 pitch coming. There's strike 3. As I don't know if Doucette actually pulled the trigger or if it was a called third strike. Either way, it is out number 2. And Jacardin Pelly, who participated in the home run derby last night, got 1 out over the fence. One of only 3 players who participated in that home run derby to actually get a home run. But that's in large part due to the fact that it was so cold last night. And it's a well-known scientific fact that balls do not carry as well through cold air. I personally don't quite understand the physics behind it, but apparently it is true. And we certainly saw that to be the case last night, as just 3 players were able to get home runs at any point throughout that derby. Ended up being won by Sam Hope of the Yarmouth Gateways. Hope was able to defy the physics a little bit. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2 on Pelly. Hope, between the 2 rounds that they played with the metal composite bats, was able to get 6 home runs. By comparison, Pelly got 1. There's a weird bounce off of the bag, and it ends up handcuffing McEachern as a result. And that will keep this top of the first inning going, bringing up Cole Monk.
Number 28, Cole Monk.
We'll have to wait to see how they score that over at the scorer's table. The ball took a very tough hop off of the bag, and it ended up handcuffing McEachern. They will rule it as an infield hit. That's probably fair. You wouldn't want to hang an error on McEachern for that. The ball, he was set to play it well, and then it happened to just hit the front of the bag and take a real tough hop on him. So Cole Monk now stands in with Pelly at first and 2 away. The lights on here at Greeno Field. There's a grounder. McEachern able to gather that one up much easier, and he'll take the ball over to the first base himself to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We played half an inning, and we'll head to the bottom of the first. Still no score between the Dartmouth Arrows and the Capital District Islanders. Let's take you through the Islander batting order. Leading off, it'll be the shortstop Yasu Hojo. Batting second, the Islanders representative in the home run derby last night, center fielder Will White. Batting third, the third baseman Jack Burke. Batting fourth is Jack McKinnon. He's the pitcher for the Islanders in this game. Owen Murphy, the catcher, bats fifth. Braden Bruce at second base will bat sixth. In the 7 spot, it's first baseman Thomas McEachern. 8, 9, and 10 held by left fielder Cameron Sanderson, right fielder Caden Kelly, and extra hitter Connor Rowell. Taking a look at the defensive alignment for the Arrows to get this game going. Liam Duquette will monitor left field while Jacardon Pelly is in center. Eli James over in right. Aiden Webb at third base, his general spot, while Jake Wombolt plays short. AJ Rogers at second, Mitch Doucette at first. Colby DeKoff behind the plate. And throwing the pitches for the Dartmouth Arrows, it's left-hander Jacob Burgess. Burgess threw back on Thursday evening Thursday afternoon rather, the opening game against the Port City Pirates. He threw 2 1/3 innings, enough pitches that he needed to have 1 day of rest, and so that made him eligible to pitch today. And you would think that either they're going to use him for just 30 pitches so that he's available tomorrow, or this will be his game to pitch and they'll get all 85 out of him. It'll be one or the other, to be certain. Here comes the first pitch from Burgess, and it's a called strike on Yasu Hojo, 0-1 the count. Similar sort of situation with McKinnon for PEI, for the Capital District Islanders. That one just over the head of Webb. Great effort to try and leap and catch that ball, but it gets over the head of Webb. And a leadoff single for Hojo gets the first runner on base, and that'll bring up Will White. White, as mentioned, was the Islanders' representative
Number 14, Will White.
in the home run derby last night. White did not get a home run in the round. There's a throw down to second. The ball sails a little bit high, but a good job backing up by Wombolt to make sure it doesn't get all the way out to center field. Hojo with the steal. Strike called, I do believe. Unless my hearing deceives me, I thought I heard the umpire call a strike, and we get confirmation. Yes, it was. So 0-1 the count now on White. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll get past DeKoff. And Hojo down to third. So the potential first run of the game now just 70 feet away from home plate, and a 1-1 count here on White. White, the right-hander, stands in. White out in center field defensively today for the Islanders. There's a grounder gathered up by Webb. He'll throw it across to first in time for the out. Throw home, and Hojo able to beat the throw home. Great hustle there by Hojo. He had to wait until Webb threw the ball across, and once he did, Hojo took off. So an RBI for White. The ground out, 5-3 on the putout, and the score now, Capital District Islanders lead the Dartmouth Arrows 1-0. Jack Burke, first pitch into him is a strike, as Burke comes up with nobody on, one away, and 1 run on the scoreboard for the Islanders. That pitch misses high, 1-1 now the count. Again, the winner of this game plays for gold at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That one popped up. Doucette able to take a couple of steps back and make the catch for the second out of the inning. And that will bring up Islander pitcher Jack McKinnon. McKinnon, a chance to help out his own cause here against the lefty Burgess. Jacob Burgess gets himself set to face the left-handed hitting Jack McKinnon. Takes a strike, and the count 0-1. McKinnon, one of several players we've seen in this tournament who throws from one side and hits from the other. That pitch misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. you've got to figure that as the air cools off and gets heavier, the team that gets the earliest lead would have a bit of an advantage in this game, as high-powered offense may get more difficult as the evening goes on. That's a theory anyway. Swing and a miss there, and that will do it for the first inning. But the leadoff single by Hojo converts. They get one run on one hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played one complete inning. The Capital District Islanders lead the Dartmouth Arrows 1-0. Due up in the top of the second, it'll be Burgess, Webb, and James. And if anyone gets on, then Jake Wambolt, excuse me. Don't forget, these are interactive broadcasts that we have for you available here on 360 Live, powered by Bell. We have the ability for you to send me a message either through Facebook or through Twitter. Look for Petter Picto Sports on either of those sites. Again, that's Petter, P-E-T-T-R, or P-E-T-T-E-R, if I could speak, as in my last name, Michael Petter. Pictou is in the county here in Nova Scotia, and fans in Nova Scotia and just across the Northumberland Strait in Charlottetown should be familiar with the area of Pictou, or at least know roughly what I'm talking about. That's P-I-C-T-O-U and then sports, so search up Petter Pictou Sports on either Facebook or Twitter and send me a message through either of those sites. If it's a question, I'll answer it. If it's a comment, I'll respond to it if I can. And if you want to send a player a shout-out, well, hey, do that too, because all of these games will get uploaded to YouTube, and they'll be able to watch them back and hear the shout-outs that you send in. So, by all means, send those in, and I'll get them included in the broadcast here. Jacob Burgess will step in. Burgess, the left-handed pitcher, who also bats left-handed, facing the right-handed pitcher who bats left-handed. Here comes the first pitch from McKinnon, and Burgess sends it right back up through the middle. That'll get through for a leadoff single. So a leadoff single by Hojo in the bottom of the first converts into a run, and the Dartmouth Arrows respond with a leadoff single of their own in the top of the second. We'll see if they can convert that into a run like the Islanders did. Here's Aiden Webb stepping in. The right-handed hitting third baseman. A couple of long looks over to first there by McKinnon. A couple more peeks over. Now he'll throw over. And getting back in safely is Burgess. McEachern able to make the grab as McKinnon put that ball right on target. Burgess again, or McKinnon, excuse me, again. Taking some long looks over at Burgess there. That one misses high. Throw down to first in behind Burgess, but he's able to get back easily. Count goes to 1-0 on Webb. And Aiden Webb ahead in the count here early. Here comes the 1-0. Burgess was running, but it's fouled off, and the count goes to 1-1. And Burgess will have to head back down to first base. Webb with a long look down at his coach to get the signs for whatever might be a go here. 1-1 count. Runner not going this time. And the pitch misses just a little high, 2-1. McKinnon certainly paying a lot of attention to Burgess, making sure he's not going to take second. This time he is going. Throw down to second. Is there in time. And Burgess is caught stealing. Good strong throw from Murphy right on target for the first out of the inning. The pitch to Webb called a ball. It's 3-1. But he now bats with one away and the base is empty. Big throw there by Murphy. Swing and a miss, and it's now 3-2.
Now batting for Dartmouth, 44, Eli James.
I thought it was 3-1, but apparently it wasn't, so that's out number 2. That'll bring up Eli James. I thought the umpire said 3-1, and then that was a strike, but obviously I misheard him. James fouls that one off. And so the count goes to 0-1. So Webb goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. And here's James. He's down in the count 0-1. That one just misses in the count 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from McKinnon. Swung on and missed. And it's 1-2. McKinnon leans way in to get the sign. Now he's set. And the 1-2. Fouled off. Good stretch by James there to get a piece of that ball and stay alive. Had to reach way out and down as that ball may have been out of the zone, but James got a piece of it. Has to go down again to get a piece of the ball and fights off another one to stay alive here. Great battle going between Eli James, the right-handed hitting right fielder, and Jack McKinnon, excuse me. The right-handed pitcher for the Islanders. Swung on and missed. Third strikeout of the game for McKinnon. So the one hit, the leadoff single, ends up getting negated after Burgess was caught stealing. No runs on one hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base. We've played 2 complete. And the score remains And the score does remain 1-0 for the Dartmouth Arrows, or for the Capital District Islanders over the Dartmouth Arrows. As we get ready for the bottom of inning number 2, due up for the Islanders, it'll be the catcher Owen Murphy, second baseman Braden Bruce, and first baseman Thomas McEachern. Murphy was a little slow getting the catcher's gear off, so just making his way out now.
Now batting for Capital District Islanders, number 6, Owen Murphy.
And the righty steps in. He's ready to go now to face the lefty Burgess. Burgess fires the first one right in there, and the count 0-1. There you see those sharp Nova Scotia jerseys with the baseball Nova Scotia, or the variation of the baseball Nova Scotia logo on the chest. That one misses outside, 1-1. And the Arrows are in this team, or in this tournament, designated as Team Nova Scotia 1. That one swung on and missed, and the count goes to 0-2. Team Nova Scotia 2 is in the gold medal game. The Yarmouth Gateways, they had a big 7 4 victory over Prince Edward Island 2. That being the Summerside Chevys. There's a swing and a miss. And a second strikeout registered by Burgess as he gets Murphy down swinging. That'll bring up the second baseman, Braden Bruce. Bruce stepping in to the right-handed batter's box. Here comes the first pitch from Burgess. In for a strike, and the count quickly 0-1. No balls, 1 strike on Bruce here. Burgess delivers, swung on and missed. And Burgess got Bruce to swing a little bit over the top of that one. Here comes the 0-2 now. That one just misses outside. I think he was trying to get Bruce to chase one a little bit up and out, but Bruce wouldn't bite. And the count now 1-2. Here comes that 1-2 pitch. Catches the inside corner for a called third strike. Bruce didn't think so. He thought it was going to be inside. Hopped back, but the ball broke back over the inner edge of the plate. And that is out number 2 and strikeout number 3 for Burgess here already through an inning and 2/3. And Thomas McEachern, the first baseman, stands in. That one misses high and inside. Ball 1. Burgess, one of the several things that impress me about Burgess is the willingness to work quickly. He gets that ball back, he gets right back up and doesn't waste any time. Here comes the 1-1. That one misses down and outside, 1-2. I know that major leaguers, there's salary considerations and all kinds of other things that go into the game, but there's something to be said for a pitcher who gets the ball, gets on the mound, and goes. As much as I love the game of baseball, there's a strike and the count goes full, 3-2. There are some pitchers out there in the majors who it's painful to watch when they're pitching because the game moves at, if it were a snail's pace, it would speed up a bunch. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Striking out the side is Burgess.
The end of the second inning.
3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks. 4 strikeouts on the evening for Burgess already through just 2 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 2 complete, and it's still the Islanders with that 1-0 lead. Yasu Hojo's run. The leadoff single in the bottom of the first started the game. He came around to score. We head to the third with that being the only run of the game to this point. Due up for the Arrows in the bottom of the third. It's the bottom of the order, 8, 9, and 10. Shortstop Jake Wombolt. Second baseman A.J. Rogers. Liam Duquette, the left fielder. As we head to that third inning. Shout out to Connor Rowell and the Islanders. Here from, it's taken a second to load. I saw the start of the message. I didn't see the name of the recipient. Just give me a second here. Here we go from Tanya Cook Rowell. Shout out to Connor Rowell and the Islanders. Go Islanders, go from the Rowell gang over in PEI. There you go, Tanya. Thanks for tuning in here on 360 Live. We appreciate having you along. And anyone else out there watching, you want to send out a shout out to a player, just let us know where you're watching from, whatever the case may be. Send me a message on Facebook or on Twitter.
Arrows, number 15, Jake Wombolt.
Wombolt coming in. Here's the shortstop for the Arrows. The lefty in to face the right-handed pitcher. First pitch swinging, Sends that one high into the air, and it comes down just behind the scorekeeper's tent over off to our right, and causing a bit of a scatter of the fans standing in that general area as that ball came down. Wombolt puts down the bunt. He's got the speed. He'll be there. What a play by McKinnon. Wombolt laid down just about the perfect bunt you could ask for, and he's got the blazing speed. But McKinnon bounces off the mound, gets the ball, throws it down to McEachern for out number one. Great play there, and a great effort by Wombolt. So very close. That'll bring up A.J. Rogers. First pitch to him misses low, ball one. And looks like both pitchers are getting pretty close to that 30 number, so we'll see soon whether it's going to be these two guys who are going to carry the night. There's a foul off the first base side.
Jack McKinnon has just thrown his 30th pitch.
And that was pitch number 30 for McKinnon, so there we go. And we'll see in a second here. Well, he's going to throw pitch 31, so that means more than likely he'll get all the way up to his 85, as he won't be available tomorrow regardless. Grounder down to first. McEachern will gather it up himself, his second unassisted putout over at first base there. And that'll bring up Liam Duquette.
Next batting for Dartmouth, number 29, Liam Duquette.
Duquette will step in with nobody on, two away here in the top of the third. Duquette, the left fielder, for the Arrows tonight. Takes first pitch strike on the inside half of the plate in the count 0-1. I got to say, this has been a very entertaining tournament. This the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11th game. And I've seen bits and pieces of a couple of the other games as well, but this is the 11th game I've done here so far this weekend, and we've had some really good baseball from these young athletes. Sometimes you're watching the quality of the play and you forget that they're just 13 or 12 or so years old. There's Duquette. He'll get on with the comebacker. McKinnon.
Out there who are hungry, last call. Barbecue's going to be shut off soon.
McKinnon knocked that one down, but that was self-preservation, and that will be another infield single for the Arrows, and that'll bring up Colby DeKoff. Third hit of the game for the Dartmouth Arrows. Jacardon Pelly had a single in the first. Burgess had a single in the second, but he ended up caught stealing. And now Duquette with a single here in the third. We're back around to the top of the order. Colby DeKoff, throw over to first. Duquette gets back in safely. DeKoff grounded out to second his first time up. No runs, 3 hits for Dartmouth. 1 run, 1 hit for the Islanders, Capital District. Of course, that being the Charlottetown area. Just a small ferry's ride away from beautiful Pictou County, my home neck of the woods. There's a strike to DeKoff. I've ridden that ferry a few times. DeKoff sets back in. 0-1 the count. McKinnon sets and delivers. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. It's not quite cold yet, but you can feel that it's starting to at least cool off a little bit here. Like I said, Weather Network says it's going to stay about 15 degrees or so for the rest of the night. I'll believe that when I see it. There's a hard hit ball out to center field. That might have the legs. It does. A 2-run home run for Colby DeKoff. And the Arrows take the lead. It is 2-1. Colby DeKoff with the 2-run blast brings in Liam Duquette and gives the Arrows the lead. And immediately the Islander coach out to talk to his pitcher, out to make sure that he doesn't get rattled. After that one, that was just a very nice hit by Colby DeKoff. He got a hold of that one and sent it out deep into the Dartmouth night sky. That'll bring up Mitch Doucette. He struck out his first time up. Comes up here with nobody on now and 2 away. And the first pitch to Doucette. Paints the outside part of the plate. And Doucette behind in the count here, 0-1. Jacquard and Pelly in the on-deck circle. If Doucette can get on and keep this second inning going. The 0-1 misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. One ball, one strike. Here on the first baseman for the Arrows. Here comes that 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed as the pitch from McKinnon had some nice sink to it there. Doucette ending up swinging right over the top of it, and the count now 1-2. That one misses outside, and it's 2-2. McKinnon trying to see if he could get Doucette to chase one out of the zone there, but Doucette held off. Here comes the 2-2 pitch now. Fouled off the end of the bat, third base side, and it'll remain 2-2. And the 2-2 offering yet again. This one in play, third base side, gathered up across the diamond in time. Good strong throw there from Burke across to McEachern for the third out. But a big 2-run home run by Colby DeKoff. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and nobody left on base. We've played 2.5. We'll head to the bottom of the third with the Islanders now trailing by a score of 2-1. Due up, it's the 8, 9, and 10 hitters, Cameron Sanderson, Caden Kelly, and Connor Rowell. And so this is the point in the game where I start making a point of looking around every half inning to see the defensive alignment and make sure that it doesn't change. Quick look, quick scan, and it appears it is still the same setup as it was. And again, it's 8, 9, and 10 due up for the Islanders. They've had some offensive success, to say the least. Maybe not the most potent offense at this tournament, but getting 23 runs over their 3 games in the round robin, certainly enough to get them victories. They've only given up 9 runs, again with a 6-5 win, a 12-2 win, and a 5-2 win. So 23 runs scored and just 9 given up. You've averaged that out over the 3 games. That's 7 2/3 runs scored and just 3 given up. On the flip side for the Arrows, they've scored 25 runs, so not quite as much, but close. And they've given up 12 runs, which slightly more, but close. First pitch to Sanderson just misses, and the count goes to 1-0. So when you look at that, 25 runs, actually slightly more offense from the Arrows and slightly more runs given up. They've scored 8 1/3 runs per game while giving up 4, as compared to the Islanders, again, scoring 7 2/3 runs and giving up 3. Right now, here in this one, we're in the bottom of the third, and the Arrows lead it 2-1. Cameron Sanderson, the leadoff hitter for the Islanders, has a 2-1 count. And then a little bit of an excuse me swing and a looping liner to Webb. And Webb will make that catch for the first out.
Dartmouth pitcher just threw his 30th pitch.
And that's pitch number 30 for Burgess.
Number 8,
and with
Kelly.
no move coming from the Arrow pitching staff, or the Arrow coaching staff, this is indeed going to be Burgess's game to throw. There's a strike. And so now the key of this matchup becomes which pitcher can use those 85 pitches most efficiently and get the furthest into the game and have to use the least of their bullpen, partly to set up for tomorrow, but partly as both these pitchers are throwing so efficiently and so effectively. That one gets through Wombolt, and Kelly will reach. And we'll have to wait and see how they score that one. Wombolt looked like he was there to try and make the play. That'll bring up Connor Rowell. And it is ruled a hit. So here comes Rowell. And before we get to Rowell, we get a throw over to first. The ball gets away from Doucette as he could not make the reach around Kelly to make the catch. And I believe that's going to have to be a throwing error on Burgess. And Kelly will get down to second. It is indeed a throwing error on Burgess, so E1 on that one. And we still await the first pitch of the at-bat for Rowell. And again, big thanks to Tanya Cook-Rowell for sending Connor the shout-out. That pitch misses high, or it does catch the top of the zone. Strike one. That's why the umpire is standing out there, and I'm sitting back here. He's got a better view than I do. Rowell shows bunt. Makes contact with the ball, but it just goes off the bottom of the bat and spins foul, or goes back foul. And so now the count 0-2 on Connor Rowell as the Mosquitoes starting to make their presence known here. There's a foul as Rowell took a good cut, got a piece of the ball, and fouled it off just a little bit behind on that swing. Earlier this afternoon, we had quite the convention of hornets. What is a group of hornets? It's not a hive, but I'm going to call it a convention. It's a parliament of crows, but it's a convention of hornets. And we had quite the convention of hornets hanging around our broadcast table here earlier this afternoon. And now that it's getting a little bit cooler, a little bit darker, the hornets have gone away and the mosquitoes are trying to make their presence felt. It's the first time it's been calm enough that we've had the mosquitoes really come out. It's been so windy the rest of the time, they've been kind of knocked down by that. Rowell, with another foul off as he's in a great battle here. Standing in tall there, the extra hitter for the Islanders. And he'll win that battle, get it out, flared to right field. Stopping at third is Kelly. So Connor Rowell with the single puts runners at the corners.
Districts, number 7, Yasu Hojo.
That'll bring up Yasu Hojo. He singled and came around to score back in the first. And we're going to get a meeting out at the mound here. Not sure what that conversation was about there with the umpire before going out to the mound. Whatever the case may be, we're getting ready to continue here. Dukoff going through the signals so the defense knows what to do if Rowell takes off from first with runners on the corners and just one out. We'll see how they deal with it here. Runner not going. And the first pitch to Hojo misses just a little bit high. Hojo again singled in the first. Came around to score. Swing and miss there, and the count 1-1. That single by Hojo as it got through Wombolt. Two more hits here in this inning. That one fouled off. And the count 1-2. Some good speed there from Rowell with a good jump off of first base, but with the ball fouled off, he has to go back. Count now 1-2. Burgess, the lefty, takes a look over. Now he'll throw to first. And Rowell able to get back. 2-4-1 for Dartmouth, 1-3-0 for the Islanders here as we play the bottom of the third. This semifinal of the 2019 Baseball Canada 13U National Atlantic Championships. Runner is going. They get the throw down to second. It goes through, and that will allow Kelly to come home a score. And then heading to third is Rowell, and he gets in safely. And so the game is all tied up with Kelly coming in to score. Rowell stole second. The ball ended up going out into center field. Kelly then broke for home. He comes home and scores on the throw home. Rowell then heads to third. And through all of that, at the same time, Hojo struck out for the second out of the inning. All kinds of things happening on that play. And they are going to give a throwing error or a fielding error. I'm not sure who's getting charged with the error, but they are giving an error on that play. So 2 errors in this inning. Will White now up to bat. Swings over that one, gets maybe a piece of it. And Burgess is ahead in the count here, 0-2. The Islanders manufacturing runs with aggressive base running. That one just misses, and the count goes to 1-2. Hojo used a stolen base and aggressive base running to be able to come in to score. And now Kelly has done the same thing here in this inning. 2-2 the count on Will White. By contrast, Duquette and Dukoff scored with the old variation on the bloop and the blast. There's a double, or looks like it's going to be a double. It was. And then a throwing error sends White to third, and he'll come around and score as the Arrows throwing the ball around a little bit here. That'll make it 4-2 for the Islanders. An RBI double for Will White, and then advances on the third error of the inning
16, Jack Burke.
by the Arrows. And that'll bring up Jack Burke. He popped out to the first baseman his first time up. And just awaiting confirmation that it is a hit and an error. A hit and just one error. It is indeed. There's a grounder down to second, excuse me. Over to first in time to end the inning. But not before. The Capital District Islanders put up 3 runs on 3 hits. There were also 3 errors and nobody left on base. We've played 3 complete, and the complexion of this game has changed. It's now 4-2 in favor of the Capital District Islanders. Due up in the top of the 4th, it'll be Jacardin Pelly, Cole Monk, and Jacob Burgess, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Arrows. So 2 runs on 4 hits for Dartmouth. Now 4 runs on 4 hits for the Islanders. But the Islanders also helped out by 3 Dartmouth errors in that bottom of the 3rd inning. Again, the team that is victorious here tonight, they'll get a little bit of extra time to sleep in tomorrow. Their game won't start till 1 o'clock. And the winner will get a date with the Yarmouth Gateways in the gold medal game. Team that drops this one tonight, they'll have to be up a little bit earlier as they'll play in the 10 o'clock bronze medal game. And that will be against the Summerside Chevys. Both of which should be pretty entertaining games tomorrow. And again, the bronze medal game will be here on 360 Live. The gold medal game will be available on 5TV1.
Number 81, Jacardin Pelly.
Here comes Jacardin Pelly. Pelly sent one down the first base line, and then when it bounced off of the first base bag, it ended up handcuffing McEachern. That one slips out of the hand of McKinnon, and Pelly had to duck to get out of the way there. 1-0 the count. And it was pretty obvious immediately that that was a slip out of the hand of McKinnon, not any sort of throw at Pelly in any way. That one misses low, and the count now 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Here on the right-handed hitting center fielder for the Arrows. That one misses low as well, and it's now 3-0. McKinnon pitches from the stretch. The righty delivers. There's a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. I could get into the great debate about taking on 3-0, but not going to do that right now. Save it for another time, perhaps. And now taking 3-1, and just like that, the count is full. So any advantage that Pelly had in this at-bat when he had the 3-0 count is now gone. It's run full. And here's the 3-2 pitch. Grounded right at the second baseman, but not able to gather it in as Bruce was handcuffed on that play. That'll bring up Cole Monk. He grounded out to first, unassisted, his first time up. And I believe they're going to call that an error on Bruce, you would think. No, they're calling that a hit as well. No, wait, hang on. Yes, they are. They're calling that a hit as well. Perhaps a bit generous with that particular one. Throw down to first, and Pelly just gets back. The way that ball was in and then out of the glove of Bruce, I would argue that that perhaps should be an error, but I'm not the official scorer. I'm just the guy who's talking about what comes up. Monk ahead in the count here, 1-0, with Pelly over at first base. That one bounced off the front of the plate. McKinnon off the mound to get it, throws to McEachern for out number one. Pelly will take second. That'll bring up Jacob Burgess. He singled in the second, came and was caught stealing. So Burgess 1 for 1. Runner on second and one away. Here in the top of the fourth, Arrows trailing 4-2 to the Islanders. That one off the end of the bat, down to short, throw across, not in time, as Burgess with the speed now faking to come home. Now he will come home, and Pelly will be gunned down. Now they throw down to second. Burgess gets in safely down there. Three-two on the putout of Pelly. Burgess reaches on the infield single. Then Pelly out 3-2 trying to take home. And then Burgess takes second on the throw home. That'll bring up Aiden Webb. He struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss there. And the count goes 0-1. Maybe an unwise decision by Pelly to try and break for home. 2 away now. Burgess at second. There's a strike and the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on the third baseman for the Arrows. That one fouled back and Webb stays alive. It's still 0-2. As night has fully fallen here in Dartmouth. Throw back to second. Burgess gets back in safely. And of course, I don't know if it's because I've got 2 sweaters and a jacket and 2 blankets, but because I came that prepared, not nearly getting as cool, there's a ground out to end the inning. As Bruce throws over to McEachern for out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base in the top of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the 4th with the Islanders still leading it 4-2. Due up for the team from the Capital District. It'll be the pitcher Jack McKinnon, the catcher Owen Murphy, and second baseman Braden Bruce. As we again take a quick scan around the field, it looks like it is the same defensive alignment for the Arrows as they get ready to play the bottom of the 4th inning. Burgess with Can't quite see the pitch count marker over there, so can't say with absolute certainty how much pitching Burgess has left available to him. But he does have some pitches left to work with, obviously. 85 the limit in this age group. And of course, with only 1 day left in this tournament, gold and bronze medal games set for tomorrow. No point worrying about once Burgess and McKinnon both passed pitch number 30. Get as much as you can out of them, obviously, so that you've got as many pitchers available to you tomorrow as well.
District number 15, Jack McKinnon.
And both of these pitchers are throwing well. Here comes Jack McKinnon. He's 0 for 1. He's one of the 5 strikeout victims of Burgess so far this evening. And he takes a strike there, 0-1. Burgess still working quickly here. Nice breaking ball there, gets McKinnon to chase, and the count 0-2. The 0-2 pitch coming from Burgess. Swung on and missed. And a 3-pitch strikeout for McKinnon. His 8th K
Owen Murphy
of the game, and that'll bring up Owen Murphy. He is one of those 8 strikeout victims. Murphy, the catcher for the Islanders. Here comes the first pitch, and that's a called strike. 0-1. The moon not yet risen here over Greeno Field. Last night was the full moon, combined with Friday the 13th. Made for an interesting evening, I'm sure. 0-2 the count. I know all of my friends in the education system were dreading yesterday, being a Friday the 13th and a full moon on the same day. I think you might have seen a record number of phone-in 6 that day. What an effort by Doucette to try and get over there and make the catch. But it just bounces off the end of his glove. Great hustle, great effort. But it is for naught, as that'll just be another foul ball. Murphy still alive here, 0-2. That one misses high, 1-2. Murphy does a little bit of groundskeeping. Now he's set. And here comes the 1-2. That'll miss outside, 2-2. Forecast for tomorrow calling for periods of showers. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be too disruptive of our playing schedule. There's a called third strike, and strikeout number 9 for Burgess.
Next batter, number 12, Braden Bruce.
That'll bring up Braden Bruce. He is one of those 9 strikeout victims. Through 3 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, 1 ground out, and 1 line out. That one into the air into shallow center field. Pelly breaking in and makes the catch for out number 3. I must have miscounted somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, that was 6 and 7, the strikeout count, not 8 and 9. I am very sorry. So 7 strikeouts for Burgess. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We've played 4 complete. It's still 4-2 for the Capital District Islanders. So correcting myself, 7 strikeouts so far for Burgess. He's also gotten 1 ground out, 1 fly out, or 1 pop out, 1 line out, and now 1 fly out to the outfield. For the Arrows, due up in the top of the fifth, it'll be Eli James, Jake Wombolt, and A.J. Rogers. If anyone gets on, then Liam Duquette. 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors by the Arrows. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors committed by the Capital District Islanders. The Islanders have yet to leave a runner on base. Anybody who's gotten on has come around to score. By contrast, the Arrows have had 2 runners left on base. They've had 2 base runners retired, 1 caught stealing and 1 caught trying to come home. And that's the biggest difference in this game. The Islanders have been able to take advantage of every single one of their base runners, quite literally, and the Arrows have not. 2 left on, 2, again, 1 caught stealing and 1 gunned down trying to score. And maybe most impressively out of all of the stats of this game, though, you look at McKinnon and you look at Burgess, and the 2 of them combined have 0 walks in this game. Not a single base runner has gotten on with a free pass. Everybody who's made it on base has earned his way there, yes.
Leading off the Arrows, number 44, Eli James.
Even the 3 errors came after runners were on and the ball was just getting thrown around a bit. So nobody has reached because of an error. Everybody who's gotten on base has gotten on base with a hit. All 10 base runners we've had, there have been 10 games, and that's it, or 10 hits and 10 base runners, the grand total in this game. James takes the first pitch inside, ball 1, swings at the second pitch and misses, and the count goes to 1-1. I can't think of the last game that I've seen where we've gone into a 5th inning and there hasn't been a single walk by either starting pitcher. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2. And I'm not repeating this to try and set up that quote-unquote broadcaster's jinx. I'm just really amazed by what I'm seeing and thoroughly impressed by what I'm seeing. I, for one, don't believe in the broadcaster's jinx. It only gets mentioned and noticed. There's a called third strike, and that's strikeout number 4 for McKinnon. McKinnon has relied much more on pitching to contact as opposed to getting the strikeout. That'll bring up Jake Wombolt. Wombolt. Actually, no, I think we are going to get a pinch hitter for Wombolt. So it's going to be Ryan Ferguson coming in to pinch hit. So Ferguson.
Now batting, number 52, Ryan Ferguson for the Dartmouth Arrows.
So Ferguson comes in as a pinch hitter here in the top of the 5th. And the first pitch to the left-hander. Gathered up by Bruce. He'll make the throw. Great effort by McEachern to try and hold the bag, and I think he did hold the bag. It's just that Ferguson beat it out, I believe. And so that'll be another infield single. 7 hits now for the and now we're going to get a re-entry into the game. So Ryan Ferguson's night is done. He gets an infield single, and re-entering into the game is Jake Wombolt as a pinch runner for his pinch hitter. There you go. There's something you don't see every day, and that's you can only see in baseball where they've got the re-entry rule. So now Carter Saunchins will pinch hit.
Number 49, Carter Suchins.
Sanjin's pinch hitting here in the top of the 5th inning for A.J. Rogers. With 1 on and 1 out. And Wombolt, the runner at first base. The left-hander to face the righty. And there's a grounder down to third. Over to second for 1. To first, not in time. So they'll get the lead runner. Sanchins will reach on the fielder's choice. 5-4 on the putout.
Now batting for Dartmouth, number 29, Liam Duquette.
And that'll bring up Liam Duquette. He singled and then came in to score on the 2-run home run by DeKoff back in inning number 3. The only 2 runs for the Arrows so far. At the time, it gave them a 2-1 lead. But the Islanders responded with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 3rd, making it 4-2, and that's where we stand here into the top of the 5th. Throw over to first. Sanchins just gets back in. That was a pretty close play there at first base, as McKinnon has a pretty good move. And for right-handed pitchers, that's one of the most, maybe one of the most difficult things to have in your skill set is a good move over to first base. And so for a few of these young pitchers here this weekend, we've seen pretty decent moves. That one fouled back and well out of play. The count 0-1 on Duquette. Duquette in here with the count 0-1, 2 away, runner at first. Top of the 5th inning. McKinnon looking over. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Duquette got good extension on that swing, but just a little bit off the mark. As McKinnon gets himself ready for the 0-2. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. Duquette swings and misses, and that is the third out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. That's 3 left on now by the Arrows. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th with the score 4-2 in favor of the Capital District Islanders. Due up for the Islanders, bottom of the 5th, it'll be Thomas McEachern, Cameron Sanderson, and Caden Kelly. And if anyone gets on, then Connor Rowell will continue the bottom of the 5th. And Sanchins, who pinch hit for Rogers. Looks like Rogers is re-entering the game back at second base. That is indeed Rogers back there at second. So Rogers re-enters in the bottom of the 5th to play second base again. Looking around the rest of the way, and the rest of the defense remains the same. So Carter Sanchin's night is done. He goes 0 for 1 on the fielder's choice. Ryan Ferguson's night as well done after Wombolt re-entered. Ferguson went 1 for 1 with the infield single. And the defensive alignment remains exactly as it has been since the beginning of the ball game back just an hour and 10 minutes ago. That's right, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning and we've been playing for an hour and 10 minutes. Hey, Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees, look, games can go at a good pace. Yeah, I know I'm maybe picking on 2 teams in particular when there are plenty of guilty parties, but it seems like every time the Red Sox and the Yankees meet, the game turns into a marathon, whether it's a 9-inning game or otherwise. As Thomas McEachern steps in. Looked like there was an issue there for a second, but apparently not. And the first pitch to McEachern from Burgess just misses, ball one. Again, I can't quite see the pitch count numbers, so it's hard to tell, but considering how efficient both of these pitchers have been, you got to figure that they'll both be able to last at least a little bit longer. There's a grounder right back at Burgess, knocks it down, picks it up, and gets the throw over to first. And time called, and looks like this is going to be a quote-unquote medical visit to make sure Burgess is okay after he knocked that one down off the wrist. And umpire just coming out to make sure that that's all they talked about, and it is indeed all they talked about. That'll bring up Cameron Sanderson. Sanderson lined a looping liner out to Aiden Webb, his first time up back in the third. Comes up here with nobody on, one away in the fifth. First pitch taken on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 now. A little excuse me swing, and it sends it out to left field down the line. Rounding first and heading for second. And getting in with a stand-up double is Sanderson. So a one-out double will bring up Caden Kelly. He singled his first time up, came around to score part of that three-run third inning.
8, Caden Kelly.
For Sanderson, it wasn't exactly the type of swing you'd ever want to showcase in a Hall of Fame video, but it gets the job done. Sanderson now 1 for 2 on the night with that double. There's a strike. And Kelly behind in the count 0-1. Sanderson at second base, one away here. The fifth hit of the game for the Islanders. And as I mentioned earlier, all 4 hits that the Islanders had previously turned into 4 runs. No runners left on base. Once a base runner got on, he has scored for the Islanders so far tonight. They're obviously looking to keep that streak going. The Arrows hoping that they can put that streak to an end. And there's a strikeout of Kelly. That will help the Arrows' odds.
Number 5, Connor Rowell.
That'll bring up Connor Rowell. He singled and came around to score as part of that three-run third inning as well. Part of what was a great at-bat for Rowell. He was down in the count 1-2, fouled off a couple of pitches before he got that single out to center. Behind in the count this time, 0-1. Swinging at the first pitch from Burgess. Swings him again and just misses, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, and a runner on base, number 2. And the margin between the teams, 2 runs so far. Islanders leading at 4-2. That one misses high. Rowell thought about going, but held up. And the count 1-2. Time called. And Rowell steps back in. Now he's set. And a grounder down to third, picked up by Webb across the diamond in time for out number 3. And for the first time in this game, we can say the Islanders leave a runner on base. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We've played 5 complete. We'll head to the 6th with the Arrows having just 6 outs left to try and close the margin. It is only 2 runs. But they have Jack McKinnon to deal with. McKinnon has been firing on all cylinders. 5 strikeouts, pitching to contact quite well. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 groundouts in this game so far. You look at how the arrows have been retired. 5 strikeouts out of the 15 outs. 5 Ks, 8 groundouts, 1 caught stealing, and 1 thrown out at home trying to score after an infield single. So, not exactly a ground out as it was, but one, let's call it a base running mishap. Not a single fly out to the outfield, not a single pop-up on the infield. All of the outs result of balls hit on the ground or strikeouts for McKinnon so far.
Number 55, Colby Dukoff.
By contrast, out of the 15 outs that Burgess has gotten, he's gotten 8 strikeouts, 4 groundouts, 1 line out, 1 pop out. And I'm missing one somewhere. One, 2, 3, 4. 1. One line out, 1 pop out, 1 fly out. So for Burgess, 8 strikeouts, 4 ground outs, 1 line out, 1 pop out, and 1 fly out to the outfield. For McKinnon, 5 strikeouts, 8 ground outs, 1 caught stealing, and 1 base running miscue. Colby Dukoff up to bat. He grounded out in the first and hit a 2-run home run in the third, the only scoring for the Arrows to this point. The count right now on Dukoff is 2-2. While I was trying to get all of that other stuff squared away. 2 runs on 7 hits for Dartmouth, 4 runs on 5 hits for Capital District. That one just misses, and the count runs full on Dukoff. This the second semifinal here at the 13U Baseball Canada National Atlantic Championships. Winner will face Yarmouth for gold. Loser will face Summerside for bronze. Dukoff fouls that one back into the woods, and the count remains 3-2. We'll either have an all-Nova Scotia matchup for gold, or we'll have a rematch of one of the most entertaining games from day one for gold. Either way, it will be a fascinating matchup. There's a ball out to deep right field, and it gets away from the right fielder, Kelly, and in to second base is Dukoff. So Dukoff able to get to second. We'll see if they rule that an error or a double. Mitch Doucette will come up. He's 0 for 2. He struck out in the first, grounded out in the third. As I couldn't see Kelly when the play was made out there. There were a couple of bodies in the way, so I can't say it is going to go down as an error. So Dukoff with the 2-base error gets to second. Meanwhile, McKinnon focused on dealing with the batter at hand, that is Doucette. Pitch to Doucette there, just misses, and the count goes to 1-1. Four-2 the scoreline in favor of the Capital District Islanders. Jack McKinnon, the starting pitcher, still out there, as what is the starter. There's a grounder to third. They're going to get Dukoff caught in a rundown. He's tagged out. Doucette will reach first on the fielder's choice. And mark the putout, I believe, 5-6-1 on the fielder's choice. I might have missed a step along the way, but I believe it went 5-6-1 on the putout. For those of you who care about such things, I could be incorrect, but I think that's how it played out. And so we'll have now a pinch runner coming in as Curry's going to come in and run for Doucette. So Braden Curry will take over at first base. Here in the top of the sixth. Jacquard and Pelly, 2 for 2, a pair of singles so far in the game. But maybe, once again, we have to look at the fact that that's now the third base runner who has been retired on base. This one, a fielder's choice. You can argue that there would have been an out eventually. Regardless, that one out into the right field foul territory. It falls in. Great hustle by McEachern and Kelly to both try and get onto that ball, but neither of them able to get there. And so that'll be a long, loud strike on Pelly. Curry at first. Pelly right now representing the potential tying run here in the top of inning number 6. Of course, the Arrows will still have one more chance in the 7th as well, but they don't want to squander any opportunities with a runner on and one away here in the 6th. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 0-2 on Pelly. Cole Monk in the on-deck circle. McKinnon gets himself set and delivers. Swing and a miss for out number 2 as Pelly chased a high one there.
Number 28, Cole Monk.
That'll bring up Monk. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of ground outs. That the 6th strikeout for McKinnon. 2 away now here in the 6th. Curry still at first base. McKinnon will look over at first. Delivers the pitch. Monk skies that one into shallow center field. It's going to drop in for a base hit, trying to advance to third. And getting in safely is Curry. A single for Monk. Puts runners on the corners with 2 out. That'll bring up Jacob Burgess. Burgess with a chance to help out his own cause here. He's 2 for 2, a pair of singles. And Burgess with a chance to help out his cause, a chance to, if he can get a hit, it will certainly bring in Curry. If he walks, then that would load the bases. That one skied high in the sky, and it comes down and it drops in. Now trying to get to third, and again a base running miscue by the Arrows. They run themselves out of yet another inning. Burgess. Curry comes in to score, and that run will count, so it's 4-3. Monk is retired, trying to get to third. We'll have to wait and see if Burgess is credited with a hit or if they're going to call that an error. Nobody actually touched the ball before it hit the ground, so I think they may call that a hit. They don't. It is an error. So that's an unearned run. So 1 run on no hits. There were 2 errors. And 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The margin now just 1 as the Arrows have gotten 1 back. It is 4-3, and Mitch Doucette re-enters the game in the bottom of the 6th here. So Braden Curry comes in to score and then comes back out of the game. The pinch runner does his job. He scores his run. And I think that's the only change here, as Doucette, as mentioned, re-enters the game. So 3 of the 4 bench players that the Arrows had available to them have been used. 2 came in pinch hit. 1 came in as a pinch runner. 1 still left, Brandon White. Meanwhile, the 10 who started the game for the Islanders have played it all the way through here. And it's the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 6th. Yasu Hojo, Will White, and Jack Burke. And again, you look at this 4-3 scoreline, and you can't help but draw a great big circle around the number of times that runners have gotten retired on the base paths. Whether it's caught stealing or running into and out in any sort of way. And that obviously, if the Arrows can't finish the comeback in the top of the 7th, that'll be one of the things that they'll have to look at as a reason for this game ending in that fashion. If it does, again, still the Arrows have 3 more outs to work with in the top of the 7th, but before we get there, the Capital District Islanders have a chance to try and add to their lead. It's 4-3, and it's the top of the order batting. Yasu Hojo, he's 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. Leads off here in the 6th. Swing and a foul tip, and the count goes to 0-1. Burgess still out there. And I think he's getting close to his limit. Swing and a miss there. And the count 0-2, or swing and a foul tip, excuse me. And it's 0-2. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And Hojo goes down on 3 pitches. That's out number 1. That'll bring up Will White. White grounded out, driving in a run in the first. Doubled and drove in a run in the third. Came around to score himself as well. So 2 RBI and a run scored when your team has 4 runs. Not difficult to see where the offense has come from in this game. For the Islanders, you can certainly look at Will White as a big contributing factor to that. Can't see the pitch count for Burgess, so Not sure. That one misses low. 1-1 now the count. That one paints the inside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. One ball, two strikes. Here's the pitch. That one just misses, and it's now 2-2. Jack Burke in the on-deck circle, awaiting his chance. There's a grounder, and it takes a bad hop right over Webb. Aiden Webb had it played perfectly until it takes a seriously unfortunate bounce.
Jack Burke.
Unfortunate from a Dartmouth perspective, certainly fortunate and helpful from an Islander perspective. That'll bring up Jack Burke. He's 0 for 2. Time called. He popped out to Doucette in the first, grounded out to Rogers in the third, sends a single through the right side of the infield. And with White running on the pitch, the hit and run works ideally. Runners now on the corners with one away. Brings up Jack McKinnon.
15 for the Capital District, Jack McKinnon.
McKinnon 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. 2 of the 9 registered by Burgess on the game. Time called as Dukoff wants to go out and deliver the signs to let everybody know what the plan is if the runner goes with runners on the corners here. For Capital District, a chance for some very important insurance runs. That one catches the outside corner, 0-1. Especially when you consider it's Webb, James, and Wombolt due up in the top of the 7th. The Islanders would like to get some insurance if at all possible. That one just misses outside, 1-1. McKinnon gets himself set for the 1-1 pitch. Grounded right to Doucette. He throws it down to second to get the one out. They won't turn the double play, and the run will come in. So a fielder's choice RBI for Jack McKinnon. 3-6 on the putout. Burke out at second. White comes in to score. It's now 5-3. And McKinnon at first base with 2 away. And with the pitch count where it is, I think we're seeing Dukoff get the catching gear off. Is he going to come in and switch from catcher to pitcher? It looks like that is the case. So Burgess will come out. Dukoff comes in to pitch. Burgess will go out to right field, it appears. And or actually, no. We'll have to wait and see where everybody ends up here after the defensive switches. But it is indeed Colby Dukoff, who had been catching this whole game, will be the new pitcher. And somebody, not sure who, it either has to be Brandon White or one of the players. Might have been James who came in from the outfield. Now we got guys running all over the place. This is what part of the challenge of calling a game at this level is. Doucette who had been playing first base, is now catching. Okay, so Doucette comes in to become the catcher. James goes to first base. Where is James? James goes to first place. He had been playing right field. Okay, so James goes from right field to first base. Doucette goes from first base to catcher. DeKoff goes from catcher to pitcher. All right, Webb is still at third. Wombolt is still at short. Still Rogers at second. Duquette is in left. Pelly, that's still Pelly out there in center. So Burgess is in right. So it's a 4-player rotation. Burgess goes from pitcher to right field. James goes from right field to first base. Doucette goes from first base to catcher, and DeKoff goes from catcher to pitcher. Those 4 players in that rotation, and that's the new defensive alignment. So it's Duquette, Pelly, and Burgess in the outfield. Webb, Wombolt, Rogers, and James around the infield. Doucette behind the plate. DeKoff on the mound. And the first pitch to McKinnon, Doucette has a little bit of trouble, or the first pitch to Murphy, Doucette has a bit of trouble handling, and McKinnon heads down to second. And the count goes to 2-0. Or no, it should go to 1-0. That was the first pitch, was it not? Unless I missed a pitch while I was trying to explain all of that, which is certainly possible. There's a strike. And the count now, I believe the count is 1-1. But game changer indicating it's 2-1. There's a grounder down to Wombolt. He'll throw across the diamond in time to get Murphy out at first. But the Islanders add an all-important insurance run. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the top of the 7th. The Dartmouth Arrows need 2 runs to tie, 3 to take a lead here in the top of the 7th. The winner goes to play for gold tomorrow. The loser will be playing for bronze. It's Webb, James, and Ferguson due up for the Arrows. Brandon White available to pinch hit or pinch run. And I see that White does have a helmet on over there, so we may indeed see White at some point in this inning. And out there to finish what he started, Jack McKinnon. And the 10 players who started this game for the Islanders. The 5 players who started for the Islanders, or the 10 players who started for the Islanders, have carried it the whole way so far. And they will try to finish things off here. McKinnon doesn't have a lot of pitches to work with, I don't believe. I don't know the exact number. I can't see it from here. But you know that he would love to be able to finish what he started. For Burgess, Jacob Burgess, he ends up throwing 5 2/3 innings, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts, and of those 5 runs, 4 of them were earned.
Number 33, Aiden Webb.
Here comes Aiden Webb. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout in the second, a ground out in the fourth. And a very important at-bat here, top of the 7th, leading things off. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back, takes a strike. The count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike here on Webb. McKinnon throwing from the stretch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. A 2-run ball game here in the top of the 7th. Arrows trying to set up an all Nova Scotia final. Islanders trying to set up a rematch with the team they beat in their first game of the tournament. There's a swing and a foul tip into the glove of Murphy. And that's strikeout number 7 for McKinnon. That brings up Eli James. He has 2 of those 7 strikeouts on the day today. James needs to get on base to bring the tying run to the plate. Fouls that one off, and the count 0-1. Will we see an all Nova Scotia final, or will we see a rematch of the game from back on opening day when the Yarmouth Gateways and the Capital District Islanders played a thrilling 6-5 game, not only on opening day, but the first game of the tournament on this diamond. Will the matchup that started this the tournament on this diamond be the matchup to end the tournament on this diamond? The Islanders are 2 outs away from making that happen. That one fouled off. The count remains 0-2. The 0-2, another 0-2 pitch forthcoming here from McKinnon. I believe he might be at 85 now. That one fouled off. And if that is the case, if he is at 85, and again, I can't see his pitch count number from here, but if it is, then James would be his final batter. That one just misses as James holds off, and the count remains 0-2. Great battle here between McKinnon and James, the 2 right-handers squaring off. The 1-2 pitch fouled back again as James wastes another one. And you would think that this is almost certainly now 85 pitches for McKinnon. Again, with the way the pitch count rules are written, he's allowed to finish this at bat. The count now 2-2. If it were one of the other thresholds throughout the pitch count rules, he wouldn't be. But because it's the daily maximum, he is allowed to finish the at-bat. Another one fouled off, and this great battle continues. We've now seen 8 pitches already in this at-bat. The count 2-2 as James and McKinnon continue to have this great duel. The 9th pitch. It will be in play out to right field, and it drops in as Kelly couldn't get a hold of it. And James will get to second. He's going to round second and head for third. Here's the throw. James is safe at third base. And that will bring the potential tying run to the plate.
Now batting for the Dartmouth Arrows,
Jake Wombold,
15, Jake Wombold,
who is 0 for 1. He grounded out. He was replaced by a pinch hitter and then came back in as a pinch runner, or a re-entry as a runner in the 5th inning. So he's only had 1 at-bat himself, and we're going to see that is the end of the game for McKinnon. And that is a triple for James. The 9th hit of the game for Arrows. And Will White, who had been playing center field, will come in to pitch.
Now pitching for Capital District Islanders, number 14.
Trying to earn the save here. Yasu Hojo goes from shortstop to center field, and Jack McKinnon goes from pitcher to shortstop, so a 3-player rotation there. Again, McKinnon, 5 1/3 innings, 3 runs so far. He is responsible for James. 3 runs on 9 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts through 6 1/3 innings. And now Will White needs to get the final 2 outs to get the save. And the first batter that he will face will actually be another pinch hitter. Wombolt will come out. Brandon White will come in and pinch hit. So White, the last player to be available off of the bench, pinch hitting here in the top of the 7th. It'll be White versus White with a runner on third and 1 away.
Arrows, number 10, Brandon White.
Will White on the mound, Brandon White at the plate. If anybody out there happens to know if they're cousins, wouldn't that be something? Anybody know that? Are they cousins? That one misses low. I know the odds are incredibly small, but it wouldn't be the craziest thing that we'll have seen here this weekend. First pitch to Brandon White misses. Now he swings through that one, and the count goes to 1-1. Brandon White representing the potential tying run at the plate. 5-3 Arrows, or 5-3 Islanders lead the Arrows here, top of the 7th. That one misses outside, and it's 2-1. Brandon White at the plate. Eli James standing at third after the triple. White gets a piece of that one. The count goes to 2-2. A.J. Rogers in the on-deck circle. If the inning continues beyond that, Liam Duquette. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Will White. The lefty delivers. It misses in the dirt. Coming in and scoring is Eli James. It's now 5-4, and the count on White is full, 3-2. The potential tying run at the plate. It is 5-4. 1 away here, top of the 7th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away, bases empty. Here's the payoff pitch, swung through and missed for the strikeout. And Will White is 1 out away from getting the save for the Islanders. Brandon White goes down swinging, and that will bring up A.J. Rogers. Rogers 0 for 1. He grounded out his only at bat. He was replaced with a pinch hitter in the 5th, came back in as a defensive re-entry into the game. Rogers must get on base to keep the Arrows' chances alive. Takes the first pitch for a strike, the count 0-1. If you are not enjoying this game, you don't like baseball. Of course, if you've got a vested interest in one of these teams, you may not be liking this game just because it's causing too many heart palpitations. But as just an interested and neutral observer of this game, this has been an incredible one to watch. There's a pitch that misses high, 1-2. Arrows down to their final strike. Rogers standing in, facing the left-hander Will White. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. The ball gets away from Murphy. Rogers will get down to first base safely, and the Arrows are still alive. Can we?
The Arrows, number 29.
A strikeout and a pass ball puts Rogers on first base. The potential tying run is aboard. Liam Duquette, who singled and scored in the third, struck out in the fifth, has to keep the inning going. The top of the order, Colby Dukoff, waits in the on-deck circle. The potential tying run at first base. A left-handed pitcher on the mound. It's slightly more difficult to steal on a lefty than a righty, but as we've seen in this tournament, stolen bases are certainly possible. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1 the count. Yarmouth Gateways await the winner. Summerside Chevys await the team. Don't want to call them losers, but the team that doesn't win, because no team in this game is a loser. This game has been too entertaining to use that word. 0-2 the count. For the second time, the Arrows are down to their final strike. Rogers at first. Duquette at the plate. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, fouled back. And Duquette gets enough of that ball to stay alive. We'll do it all over again. The 0-2 pitch about to come from Will White, delivered to Liam Duquette. Here comes that 0-2. Runner going. Pitch gets away from Murphy, misses outside. It's 1-2, and the potential tying run now in scoring position. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 on, 2 out. Rogers at second base, the potential tying run. Duquette needs to get on to keep this game going. That one misses high, gets away from Murphy. And the potential tying run now stands at third base. And the count 2-2. And we'll get a meeting at the mound to try and calm things down. As I said it a moment ago, I will say it again. If you are just watching a ball game, you have to be loving the quality of this baseball. This has been an incredible game. If you have a vested interest in one of these two teams, it's still a great ball game, but it might be a little bit more difficult to get the same enjoyment out of it because it has been so back and forth. Islanders led it 1-0. Arrows took a 2-1 lead. Islanders led it 3-1 or 4-2, excuse me. Arrows made it 4-3. Islanders made it 5-3. Arrows made it 5-4. And the potential tying run stands at third base, but a swing and a miss, and that will do it. The Islanders will play for gold. The Arrows come oh so close, but just short. They will play for bronze tomorrow against the Summerside Chevys. That'll be a rematch of the nightcap last night. And the gold medal game will be a rematch of the first game we had on this field in the tournament. In the top of the 7th, there was 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. The final score, the Capital District Islanders from Prince Edward Island defeat the Dartmouth Arrows 5-4. Our gold medal matchup will be Islanders and the Yarmouth Gateways. Our bronze medal matchup will be the Arrows and the Summerside Chevys. We'll stick around for the presentation of the players of the game, and then we'll sign off until tomorrow I certainly know who my votes would be for players of the game. But, of course, I'm not the one making those decisions. Honestly, you could pick just about anyone from either of these two lineups as players for the game. So many players doing a great job out there. The arrows come up just short.
Great game played by both teams this evening. The MVP for the Dartmouth Arrows tonight is going to number 59, Jacob Burgess.
And Jacob Burgess, a great pitching performance, 5 2/3 innings.
And player of the game for Capital District Islanders, number 5, Connor Roll.
And Connor Rowell gets the player of the game for the Islanders. A single and a run scored. And I think that in part,
thanks for some great
as
and have a great night.
The Jack McKinnon had already received a player of the game award, because he would certainly not taking anything away from Rowell. I don't want to take anything away from Rowell. He had a big hit when he needed to, scored a run. But you look at that pitching performance of McKinnon, and that would have been my vote. But again, I do believe that McKinnon may have gotten one already in the tournament, and that would have a part of the impact on that decision. And again, I'm not saying that to take anything away from Rowell. I want to make that perfectly clear. But that will wrap things up for us. The final score once again, the Capital District Islanders advance to the gold medal game. They will play against Yarmouth tomorrow with a 5-4 victory over the Dartmouth Arrows. Until tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock when we bring you the bronze medal game, this is Michael Petter saying, may your pitches hit the corners, may your liners hit the gaps. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.